Hey, greetings programs, it's BC from Alloy 7, and I'm going to break protocol a little bit today to give you guys an off-the-cuff review for S.T.A.L.K.E.R Shadow of Chernobyl. I'm not going to use my patented gamer category review system, and I'm not going to have a script. I'm just going to give you the no-nonsense perspective that I have on this game. And part of the reason why I want to do this is because I was working on a Let's Play for it, and in the first several videos, I was singing the game's praises, just like the tactical combat in the open world and the exploration is so dope. And all of those things are true. The challenge is, as you continue to progress through the game, a lot of its flaws start to rise to the surface because the game is actually pretty long for a shooter, and you start to see that the incentives that one needs to actually go quest and shoot things in the face aren't really there for the long haul. There's no leveling in this game. There's no character progression outside of getting currency to buy better gear. And for some people, that's probably enough. For me to play a 20+ hour game, or really probably a 16+ hour game, 16 to 20 hours, it's not enough for me just to go do quests for the sake of doing them, to get money, to get better gear. Now granted, there's some cool gear and there's some great things that you can find if you're willing to go explore the world, but the way the game encumbers you with your weight system, only being able to carry 60 pounds worth of gear, and carrying stuff is what you need to go back to town to get money, and you have to start making decisions about, well, do I carry a health pack or do I get rid of this weapon that's worth $2,000? And it's one of those things where I think gamers that like that type of yin and yang approach to gaming are probably going to really like that. I have a lot of friends, I know people, FS Metal, for example, who's a member of our community, who loves S.T.A.L.K.E.R. I have to say, now that I've gotten to the end of it, that I'm not in love with it. And I wanted to make the review quickly and off the cuff because my Let's Play is going to lead you to believe that it's the best thing since sliced bread, just from my perspective. Now, I'm not trying to pass this off as some 100% objective outlook on the game. I just want to balance some of the praise I gave the game with some practical critique. And the ending, for the love of God, like literally, if you don't go into the end, and I don't care if you're playing on easy or, you know, death mode, it's all difficult. And if you don't go to the end completely armed to the teeth with all the gear that you're supposed to have, and the game's not going to tell you what that is, you're going to get served. And if you're like me, you didn't save, you don't have another save before you went to the ending that's kind of close to the end, so you can redo some things and go do some quests to get money and to get some of the armor that you're going to need and to get some more ammunition for all the weapons that are going to break and stop working, because you're just going to fight wave after wave after wave of soldiers and helicopters dropping bombs on you randomly, and then you get inside Chernobyl and it just keeps on bringing the heat to you. And I think a lot of people that are kind of sadistic when it comes to, and I don't mean that to criticize you, like if you have that quasi-sadistic kind of part of your DNA that loves games just brutally hard, then I think the ending of Chernobyl is probably going to be something that you'll dig. The challenge for me is I'm not really that dude. I don't mind games being difficult. You know, I play Dark Souls, I enjoy that. But when it's just difficult and there's no real incentive other than just putting yourself through loading your last save, load your last save, load your last save, it got to the point where I really wasn't enjoying the game. And that started to kick in around my last 5 hours of play, because S.T.A.L.K.E.R goes from this open world, just glorious tactical shooter to almost an on-rails corridor shooter at the end. I didn't understand that. Like, the maps are still fairly big, but you're very much being pushed towards a certain location because there's no possible way you could fight everything that's on screen. And there's like enemies everywhere. No matter where you turn, there's no way to really maneuver the terrain without getting blasted, especially if you go in not properly equipped. So, not trying to give you an objective, you should avoid this game because it's terrible, because it's not. I actually would still argue, despite my bias towards not liking the game after I got as far as I did, I would still argue that S.T.A.L.K.E.R is a good game and it's worth playing if you're a specific type of gamer. Again, if you're the person who likes really hard games just for the sake of them being hard and you want to die a lot and just feel that sense of when you beat the game. If you're that dude, then S.T.A.L.K.E.R, jump in, especially if you can get it for sale on Steam like I did. If you're like me and you prefer taking a game and having incentive to go quest, meaning going and questing is going to let me build my character. I can get more endurance without using what the game calls artifacts. You know, the artifacts are basically these things you can augment your character with to make him resistant to radiation, or to have more endurance, or to do more damage when he fires. You know, I don't want the whole game, I don't want my character's abilities to come down to equipment, you know, kind of Dungeons and Dragons style. I want it to come down to, I've put 15 hours into building this guy. His stamina should be able to increase. He should be able to carry more gear, kind of like in Oblivion. That never happens. So the thing I go into a game looking for, especially an open world adventure, in this case shooter, it's just not there. So for me, if you're like me, like if you've watched a lot of my reviews and you know the things that I like and you align yourself with that, then S.T.A.L.K.E.R is probably not for you. If you love hard games and you love just questing and grinding, then this is probably something you do want to get into. I really found it strange that as you played through S.T.A.L.K.E.R, it actually almost encourages you not to fight, because fighting wastes ammunition and fighting doesn't give you anything. Unless it's a mission where you're supposed to kill somebody and you get money for it, just the random people that pop up on the screen, you're almost better off not engaging them, because it's just going to waste ammunition and you may or may not get something from them that's valuable. And usually that's just going to either be a decent weapon or a health pack, which you can just go buy in the store if you do enough quests. So that's my take on S.T.A.L.K.E.R. If you're like me, I would totally avoid it. Not really disappointed that I played it. I appreciate having the experience, but I could have done without it. I could have spent 15 or 16 hours doing something else. If you're the sadistic difficulty person, buy that joint, put it on the hardest difficulty, and enjoy the next 20 hours of getting shot in the face. So I'm also going to shut down the Let's Play. I don't want to keep releasing the videos that I've done that are just, this game is the greatest thing ever, and then people are going out and buying it and they don't hear the ending where it's like, oh, easy, the last 5 hours for me were terrible, don't do it. But anyway, that's all I have for you guys. Off the cuff review. I don't do a lot of these, you know, I like to stick to the category review system, but I really felt like I needed to get some information out there for you guys, and sorry that I droned on so long. But I'm going to go ahead and shut it down here. Thank you for watching. If you have questions about the game, please leave them in the comments section so that I can answer you more specifically. Again, this is off the cuff with no script and no writing, so I'm doing the best I can to convey everything I just experienced, because I literally just got to the ending that I'm talking about. But I didn't beat the game. Let me be clear. I did not beat it because I got beat down in Chernobyl and I didn't have a save close to Chernobyl that, you know, I felt like reloading. It just wasn't worth going back and questing again because I was tired of the game. So anyway, questions, send them to me. If you haven't subscribed already, do that. Join the RPG Club, join Legion 7. All of those links are in the video description below. Allow me to thank you for watching, and until next time, friends, until all are one, it's BC the Brain Supreme signing off. Peace and Godspeed.